Question 2, AQA GCSE English Language Higher paper. For the higher paper, question 2 requires you to explore presentational features, which are the headline, subheadline, captions and picture, but you must show how they link with the text. For this question, you need to be able to show what the impact on the reader's understanding is. After all, consider yourself the reader. Ask yourself how these presentational features and the text increase your understanding of the text, and how is the text made more engaging for you. Look at the heading, subheading and image. What do you learn from these? You need to avoid being general and focus on specific details and interesting words and ideas. And you need to make the link between the heading, image and text. Once you've looked at the headline, subheading and image, you need to go and read the text, underlining any short quotes which strongly link to the presentational features. Once you've read the entire text, go back to the presentational features and explain how effective they are in terms of their impact on the reader. That's you and your understanding of the text. Let's have a look at the second source in the January 2011 English Language Higher paper. Here is source 2. So question 2 refers to source 2. Fearsome Tyrannosaurus rex Sue may have died of a sore throat. Let's have a look at the question. The question tells you to read source 2, the article and the picture which goes with it, called Fearsome Tyrannosaurus rex Sue may have died of a sore throat by Ian Sample. Explain how the headline, subheadline and picture are effective and how they link with the text, and this is worth 8 marks. Let's have a look at the heading. So the first thing I notice is that this is a fearsome Tyrannosaurus rex. An unusual name, Sue, which doesn't really fit in with having a fearsome T-Rex, may have died of a sore throat. Now, a sore throat is a minor illness, so I'm intrigued. I want to find out more. And the heading is in big, bold writing, which attracts my attention as well. And I notice that the strapline or the subheading here tells me that a parasite that infects pigeons made it increasingly difficult for the T-Rex to swallow, and led to starvation, a new study suggests. So now we've suddenly got this fearsome Tyrannosaurus rex, who's got an unusual name called Sue, is linked to a small, common, uninteresting bird, a pigeon. And then again, that fascinates me and makes me want to read on. Have a look at the use of alliteration as well, with sore, Sue, starvation and swallow, and that attracts the reader as well. Then scrolling down, having a look at the image, I see this rather large headed skeleton of an extinct dinosaur with a huge jaw and very, very sharp teeth, almost like the jaw is jutting out, and the size of it is made even more impressive by as it contrasts with the humans in the background. When I learned that actually Sue is a 7-ton T-Rex in Field Museum in Chicago, and the actual fossil stretches 13 meters from nose to tail. It also tells me that the fossil is 65 million years old. Again, in the introductory paragraph here, it tells me that it was an infection that causes sore throats in pigeons that may have been linked to this T-Rex's death. And scrolling down, I learnt that actually she was quite a violent creature and she survived skirmishes. And we know she's violent because she was found having 3 broken ribs. and a damaged shoulder, which suggests that she was a dangerous creature. We can see that by the size of her and her teeth. And we also can see that in the heading with the use of fearsome. Scrolling down a bit more, I then learned that actually researchers initially thought the gorge marks in the T-Rex's jaw were inflicted from battles with other tyrannosaurs. However, they noticed there were striking similarities with some of the indentations seen nowadays in modern birds such as the pigeon. And they realized that these could be caused by a common parasite that infects the mouth and throat, which is interesting because the mouth and throat of this creature is ginormous. And again, it intrigues the reader to think, how can something so minor, like a common parasite that infects pigeons, how could it possibly affect this violent, fearsome, huge, aggressive predator? But reading on, we find that actually Sue would have found it difficult to swallow and eventually would have been starved to death because of this parasite, which causes mild infections in pigeons, doves and other wild birds, which is spread by biting. It's interesting that scientists can discover this new theory based on the common pigeon and this 65 million year old predator, which continues to delight the reader as they read on. So how would this response look like on paper? Here is an example answer, drawing the reader in with its large bold letters, and that's referencing the heading. The title makes the reader aware, so this is the impact on the reader, that an animal that is known to be ferocious, a Tyrannosaurus rex, may in fact have died of a sore throat, which is today considered a minor illness, and therefore this intrigues the reader. So again, we're looking at the impact on the reader. There is a contrast between fearsome and a minor sore throat, which is listed in the heading, and this intrigues the reader. Furthermore, we're using some discourse markers here. The T-Rex is named Sue. So this goes back to what we said earlier on about identifying words and explaining them. T-Rex is named Sue, a rather bland but friendly name for an extinct violent carnivorous dinosaur, which further interests the reader. We talk about the impact on the reader, as it is amusing and unexpected. So again, you need to explain the words used. In society, we wouldn't think of a female as being the most dangerous of animals, but here the name has been applied to a violent and dangerous creature. The word fearsome in the heading is connected with the image, and this is when you're starting to show the links, which shows the bones of a large, fierce-looking creature whose jaw is large and teeth are sharp. The head of the T-Rex appears to be jutting out of the image, ready to attack. The T-Rex, I need to change that. T-Rex is contrasted against the small humans, which emphasize her huge size. Further information about her size is provided in the text, so we've got the image linked to the text. And the reader is made aware that Sue weighs 7 tons and stretches 13 meters from nose to tail. Notice that we have quotes from the text embedded in the write-up. Furthermore, again we're using another discourse marker, her aggressive nature is shown through the explanation that she survived violent skirmishes that left her with 3 broken ribs. Again, the reader is left wondering how a minor sore throat could have killed her. Again, we're looking at the impact on the reader. The subheading or strapline further intrigues the reader as he or she learns that a parasite that infects pigeons made it difficult for the T-Rex to swallow, which led to the animal's starvation. The inclusion of pigeon in the subheading maintains the reader's intrigue. So again, the impact on the reader, as pigeons are small, everyday harmless creatures. So we're explaining the impact of this word. The idea that they could lead to a T-Rex's demise is unlikely. There is some alliteration with the words sue, saw, swallow and starvation, which is engaging for the reader. So what impact does this alliteration have? It engages the reader. The dominating skeleton image is very dramatic and again forces the reader into thinking this theory is unbelievable. As I said earlier on, you've got this huge head with very sharp teeth. How could it possibly die of something as minor as a sore throat? This mysterious, unlikely theory continues to engage the reader. So we've got the impact on the reader again. The idea of a common parasite killing the T-Rex seems ironic and ridiculous. So the reader is further drawn into the text looking for an explanation. And remember to embed your quotes from the text in speech marks. The reader discovers that the indentations seen in modern birds are similar with the T-Rex's gorge marks that researchers once believed were battle marks from fights with other tyrannosaurs. Therefore, the sore throat mentioned in the title is explained in the text as an infection of the mouth and throat caused by a parasite. Interestingly, the idea that scientists can discover a new theory based on a common pigeon and a 65-million-year-old predator, and again you've got predator and speech marks, continues to delight the reader, and therefore we've got the impact on the reader. Thank you.